coming up in this guest episode of the Flowable podcast.
Who knows, I might change quite significantly until I, in 10 years time.
Don't become drunk.
Wait, what did Leorge say?
Don't become drunk. Don't become drunk. Don't become drunk. Don't become drunk in 9 years time.
Hopefully not. Don't want to be a bit like
You don't want to grow armpit hair like Leorge did in the last episode.
Shut.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Flowable podcast. This is a series where Leorge and I converse about everything that's going on in the world and offer up our opinions as the younger generation. We won't be afraid to go on little rambles and get ready for some heat along the way. Now, today's another one of those special episodes. Leorge, can you explain why?
Yes, we have another guest, and you can introduce himself. He's very vocal about it.
Hello, my name's Ivan. I go to school with Leorge and Erol, and I'm here to join the Flowable podcast today.
Yay, welcome to the show.
Ivan's he's the politician in the school. So, so I have something. 2020 and the presidential election. Go for it. That's all.
I mean, what can I say? Everything's come up. It's almost, considering what's happened, it's more been sort of a diss battle or something else rather than actual politics, but I guess at least the results come out and hopefully we can move forward.
Yeah, you told me that you were supportive of Trump, remember?
Yeah, now, what do I have to say? I don't think Biden offers anything particularly exciting. I think at the end of the day, you're looking at the lesser of two evils. So, I'm not a fan of Trump, I'm not a fan of Biden. I don't think either of them offer anything. But
what's wrong with Biden, though?
Biden, I mean, let's be honest, old, stereotypical president of the US. He's not going to offer anything revolutionary, and neither will Trump, but at least Trump, all I have to say, he offers some slight charisma, something a bit different.
Ivan, remember 2016? Hillary Clinton's whole presidential campaign was that we never had a woman president before. So, you know.
Yeah, and I feel as if it's something similar with Kamala Harris. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but there has to be more to a campaign than quite simply saying, I'm going to be the first female, president. And I think, and that's why, to be honest, American politics in itself is inherently flawed. The Constitution itself doesn't create this sort of open environment that allows outsiders to sort of come in and tap in, bring new ideas forward.
Right, yeah. Erol, any thoughts? Erol, any thoughts?
Well, I mean, it's weird because I'm not on really any side, I'm not really biased. But I don't know, I feel like Biden has more of the characteristics of a good leader. And I think that's very important because I was watching some videos of him responding to, the public's claims of, is this going to happen? Is this going to be reintroduced when Trump leaves? And then he's able to answer them directly. And he's able to, actually answer the question, well, in most cases. Yeah, but I mean, I won't say I'm fully Biden, but I respect Biden in that sense.
Didn't Trump not concede yet or something? Or Ivan, you can speak whenever you want. You don't have to
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think whether I like Trump or not, which maybe I could say I do, I don't. But the fact that he's not conceding to me shows that there's insecurities within him, and this is whereas before I could have backed him up on some things. I'm not saying on everything. Now I think this is unforgivable. You're undermining the democratic process, and in that aspect, I respect Biden, and I'm sure if it was turned against him, he would have conceded. And I think that any loyal person or any person who has an understanding of a situation needs to accept responsibility. And if that means accepting defeat, so be it.
You know what's funny? How did Trump become president in the first place?
What can I say? I think it's alienation almost. You went from having the first black president 8 years earlier to having probably the most far-right president that America has had in a long time. And I think it's sort of showing the changing dynamic of the world. If you look at the fact, let's say Boris Johnson, who would have thought this time, even last year, that Boris Johnson would win the largest majority in Parliament since the 1980s. Such a joke, you could say, that he is. And look, so I feel as if the dynamic of politics around the world is just changing.
Wasn't Theresa May Prime Minister for a year or something? like.
Yeah, 3 years, and I think now when we look at it, there's actually nothing wrong with Theresa May. It's just that the way that we, and I tell you what, this is sort of off topic, but we're very good at criticising things when it works in our favour. But when you actually realise that something isn't how you want it to be, you sort of look back and you realise, wow, how ungrateful I was for what a situation was, and that can be for absolutely anything.
So, like, what examples of things would you apply that to in your personal life?
I don't know. It's like, let's say, your mom's cooked some food for you. You're moaning that you don't like the food, but then the day after, let's say you have to have
Ivan,
you have to have something that you really don't like, and then you think, actually, what I ate yesterday wasn't that bad.
Well, this links to the last episode. You should have seen it. But anyways, carry on.
So yeah, little things like that, and I think we're all guilty of it. I'm guilty. I'm sure Leorge and Erol, you're just as guilty as I am.
Definitely.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that makes sense. But you watch the news on like pretty much like 50% of the population so far. Anything interesting come up?
Not particularly. I think at the moment, the media's quite not negative, but they're slightly concentrating on slightly sadder stories. But I mean, the fact that a vaccine has come available, a vaccine has proven successful.
A vaccine for COVID?
Yeah, vaccine for COVID. The fact that that's, looking increasingly likely. Not certain, I'm not saying it's certain, but increasingly likely. And I think it's starting to look like normal will resume at some point.
Even though they say that news is highly objective, there's no bias or whatever, they only show news that's favored, that was most likely to get the most views, essentially.
Oh, absolutely. And especially with some press, for example, creating stories out of nothing, that's something that really annoys me. And I find it quite irritating, for example, if a journalist is quite argumentative with a politician or anyone else, because at the end of the day, the media is there to present the facts, not to argue or to create incorrect facts. And that's why argumentation really irritates me.
Yeah, that sucks. You got anything to add, Erol?
I was going to ask, if Labour were in charge, do you think that we could get this vaccine rolled out quicker than Johnson would?
I mean, there are a few. I would say there are incompetence on quite a few levels within this government. I don't think that simply being married to a minister is a good reason to head up a vaccine regime. But at the same time, I think it's a new experience. And it's false to blame others at this moment in time. It's about uniting, agreeing on something. And there will be a time when we can look back and reflect on what's happened. But at the moment, we need to look at the situation and accept it and work together, uniting. And because, as you know, what they say, when you work together as a team, you can get things done faster. Yeah. And I think, it's looking like it, but there'll be cross-party support. And if that can happen, I think a vaccine will be rolled out incredibly quickly.
Okay, before we carry on, I'm gonna sound really dumb, but what's the difference between Conservatives and Labour?
Well,
one's blue, one's red.
Yeah, I guess you could, we'll, go on a childish
just like America.
Yeah, basically, you're looking at the Conservatives is the equivalent of, not quite, but the Republicans in America. Donald Trump, the sort of centre-right, slightly more capitalist thinking. Labour, you're looking slightly more towards Biden, Democrat. Left-wing, depending on the leader, obviously, but there's both parties. And you're looking at slightly more socialist ideologies or whatever else comes with that.
You can really tell that he's very good at public speaking, don't you?
Yes, I want to talk about that. So, I think you speak very well and that you are a very good leader. I just want to point out that recently you got your Lambda Grade 8 Distinction certificate. So I just wanted to congratulate you on that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think it's not something I don't like. I don't like being the centre of attention. It's not something I enjoy.
Don't act like you don't like it. You like it, Ivan.
Well, it depends. I mean, I would say I'm quite humble as a person. I don't like to exclaim my glory or my greatness. Different people have different thoughts on that. But but I guess it is an achievement in itself, and I think obviously I'm proud of it. Why wouldn't I be proud of it?
Are you trying to be a Wait, what's your future job going to be like? What are you trying to aim to be? Don't tell me you're gonna
God
like.
knows.
Don't tell me with all these skills you're gonna freaking work in an office job. Come on.
I hope not.
You gotta use it.
Or scanning items on Sainsbury's.
I mean, you
checkout.
could be a good like conversationalist with the customers, but
Yeah,
number two, please.
Ivan, be the guy that all the Karens ask for.
Yeah.
the ones that will actually bring the manager to you.
Yeah. What I mean, I don't. All I've said to myself, I want to have a purpose in life. I don't want to simply be a person sitting behind a desk, doing nothing. And I feel as if at school at the moment, I have sort of not a role, but I have a purpose. And you know, I'm not proclaiming myself or anything, but I feel as if I can bring something to people's lives. You know, I can be that ray of sunshine if something's not going your way. And this idea that I want to not generate change, but I want to make sure that a voice is there for people. Whether what that will be, God knows. And time will tell. I think you know what is meant to be will meant to be. I believe in that.
Did you find
you can change your fate? Well, you can influence your fate, but you can't change it.
Did you? Did you
Yeah.
find a work experience placement yet, Ivan?
Not yet. It's very hard to.
What are you trying to search for? What's your like first priority?
I mean, I don't know. Shops, banks, estate agents, lawyers.
Or you want to do law and like finances, Ivan.
Well, I mean, my math skills are abysmal, but
Okay.
you know, something sort of to deal with sort of real life. You know, a real life job, dealing with people. For example, that's why a bank, you know, is a work experience. Seems quite cool. Money, what's not to like?
I mean,
but just talking to customers.
Isn't a bank just
being helpful?
Isn't a bank just a shop, but like with a different situation involved? It's still the same.
Yeah, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
but bringing, you know, as I said, being that ray of sunshine in someone's day. You know, I don't want to be just sitting behind an office desk, as I said earlier. You know, same with work experience. I want to get the most out of it. I want to finish and think that, you know, seeing that I've achieved something, and you know, whether that be you know, emotionally, you know, whatever skills I will develop from that. But I want to see a result, sort of.
So, Ivan, how do you want to see yourself in 10 years, given that all of you've told us about you're willing to stand up for the people and take a role in maybe in leadership? Like, how are you planning on seeing yourself in the future?
Wow, what a question, Erol.
Thank you.
Oh my god,
I don't.
The difference between you two is so uncanny.
I don't know. And I want to imagine myself in 10 years, but even if I'd said to myself, look where I'd be even 5 years ago, I wouldn't have imagined it. And I feel as if I'm growing as a person.
That's
and it's
great.
hard at the moment. I'm 14. There's no proper way of knowing what sort of person I will become. Who knows? I might change quite significantly until I, you know, in 10 years.
Don't become drunk. Don't become drunk in 9 years.
Hopefully not. Don't want to be a bit like Eric.
You don't want to grow armpit hair like Leorge did in the last episode.
Shut. Okay, this is weird. Okay, Ivan, how do you balance being your voice is very casual but also very professional as well? Because Erol's voice sounds very professional, very like the same.
Yes, very.
Yeah, don't try to change it now. Voice
Yes.
crack. Anyways, my voice is very relaxed. I pretty much put no care into how I speak. I make errors all the time and I don't bother to go back and correct them. How do you balance both of those sides?
I'll tell you what, it's about one thing, and I'm not saying that anyone isn't. It's about being yourself. I'm not saying that either, you know, anyone is not being themselves if they're not speaking the way that
this
anyone
is
would speak.
entirely myself, Ivan. You know this.
Yeah, exactly, and I know that, and I know with Erol too. You know, I've never heard anything, you know, sort of different in the way you speak. You're speaking to me like you normally would. You're not being different.
Yeah,
such. You're
this
not
shows how
treating me-
authentic the show is.
Yeah, exactly.
very
You're not treating me any differently. But I think it's first of all about being yourself and understanding, i.e. in this case the listener, what the listener wants to, you know, hear as such. They don't want to hear something that I'm not like, you know, so I'm a persona that I do not embody in everyday life. And that's, you know, how I go about every day. And I don't like putting on faces as such, because you are who you are, and if you do that, you lose part of you, and you is unique as such. You are you, and I think that being yourself basically is, you you know, and I am casual. I'm not particularly formal, but as long as you can say what you want to say in a way that you want to say it, that's all that matters.
Yeah, I guess
Well,
like
that's very
one of like the
insightful. Thank you
main
very
like
much.
issues about being, what is it, like it's like having a different like persona like when you speak compared to like when you normally speak. Is I guess uncomfortability essentially. Uncomfortable that you
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
public, etc. Like, because Ivan, you're comfortable because you've mastered basically public speaking, and Erol has a bit as well. So, and I have a YouTube channel, so I don't care what people think of me. So, I guess all three of us are pretty much like in the same boat where.
Yeah, well, I think we've all spoken in assembly.
Yeah.
We've all
Yeah.
had that confidence to go up and do that. And yeah, and I think all three of us would go and do it again.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
the house lip
Yep.
sync battle, Ivan. That proves how.
I didn't
How
dare
I've-
wander that far.
I'm sure there are some listeners that are out of the loop, but lip sync battles in schools can get really intense. Yeah.
The one. What my team wins, so that's completely fine.
Oh no, Leorge, don't. Oh, look, who won last year?
Yeah, because
the
like
best,
last year only happened for like half a year. The
Ah,
rest were at home.
Don't disregard it like that.
Hey, what did you do, Ivan? What did you do for your house?
I was house captain.
Yeah, I
I'm
was house
joking,
captain.
no.
I did a very good job of that as well.
And I was house
Yeah.
captain as well.
Oh,
in
really? Oh, wow.
But yeah, you know, and I tell you what, it's things like this. I wouldn't say generally I'm a rival, a person who enjoys rivalry.
Yes,
but
you are.
Rivalry,
Yes, you are.
Wait, listen, I'll get onto it. Rivalry helps me, and the fact that I know I want to compete with my peers, whether that be in test scores, whether that be in house competitions, it's that rivalry that drives you forward, and that's with everything. You know, I will want to beat Leorge on the history assessment. Of course I will. Who wouldn't?
Cannot really.
And same with
Yeah,
you know,
you
McCarthy,
probably will, because
beating
history is-
McCarthy last year.
AKA
Thing is,
yellow.
If I
Ivan,
want to.
history is not one of my strong suits. I pick it because it's interesting and fun. Thing is, last year's history was great. This year's is a bit less than great. I must be like honest about it, but you know,
Oh.
if
I
I
think
get
I
like,
prefer the top.
pardon, yeah, go ahead.
I prefer the topics you do this year, but
The
I
activities
think
were
last year was
interesting
more. Yeah, absolutely.
the trial that I won, Ivan.
Oh, that was even the
And-
German exchange students afterwards.
Oh.
They told me how impressed they were about
yeah.
all of us. You know.
Wait, did you go on the German exchange?
No, I didn't. But
I could.
Evelena's
but I
and
had,
George's
but
got
I
the
had
bus.
like no space, and I had no things to do it. But you know,
Yeah.
I'm hoping to, if possible, go to Japan in sixth form.
Oh yeah,
Oh
that's
yes,
something I
Japan
definitely want
would
to
be
do.
amazing.
Um,
Like, what
I go to
specifically
the-
like attracts you to Japan? Japan. why would
Pokemon
you-
Center.
You can get one in London, you know.
Yeah, but it's London. It's not Japan. Also, yeah, Japan's like one of the places I want to visit, and of course we're gonna go into this because Ivan's also the geography man in this.
Well, I
so-
mean, I do. Okay, yeah.
But thing is,
Um,
one of the main places I want to go to and is New York, and everyone
Yeah.
should know this.
Yeah.
Times Square specifically, because like isn't like a
Oh.
bunch of like signs. everywhere.
Exotic.
Exotic Times Square.
I know, and still, you know.
Billboards with advertisements. Exotic.
Yeah, billboards.
Really. Yeah.
So, like, I think a place that I really want to go to is Singapore.
Ooh, that's
Like, I'm not sure.
Interesting.
It's just that,
the only
like,
the
I
only
know
like
it's
place that I know Singapore from was this movie about like rich Asians love or whatever.
Crazy
What was
Rich Asians.
What?
I mean, that's just a movie. Anyways, I just really want to go to Singapore. I really like their accent. There's just something about their accent that I really, really like.
Yeah,
Of every
what's
reason.
the difference between the accent and like the stereotypical like Chinese or Asian accent?
I mean, Chinese and Singapore, because like Singapore is like you speak more English. Because it's like it's like in the Philippines, half Filipino, half English, and in Singapore it's like half Chinese, Malay, and every other East Asian language.
Oh wait,
in
I
English.
think I know what Singapore is. I think I know that'd be cool. I think they're like out of circuit break already, so they can like hang out
Yeah.
with people if they're safe.
It's like, hiya.
No,
What
don't
you
be
do
racist.
to me already? I'm on a
Don't be
podcast,
racist,
mom.
No,
I'm
don't, I mean, Errol, don't be
I'm
racist.
I know. I can't really do it that well, but I just really like Singapore. I like the people. I like the architecture, especially the airport. The airport looks amazing. So I
Yeah,
definitely
sure,
like to
sure.
go there when I'm older. Accent aside, my own accent aside, my
Yeah.
really bad one. Yeah, I'd really like to go there.
but we can't anytime soon because we're back in lockdown, unfortunately.
Wah, wah.
And it's like 9 months of complete like lockdown, then like 1 or 2 months of like you can kind of see your friends, and then now back home. You can't go
Back
anywhere.
into lockdown.
But why?
The only thing is schools.
Yeah, carry on. Yeah, go on.
Schools are open this time, and
I don't like
feel
it. I don't like it.
Why? I love being in school. Well,
Yeah, sure.
love's a strong
Super
word,
fun. But I just don't get it. Why open schools if we're?
Oh
everyone's
yeah.
back
I
on
agree.
Thing is, you're preventing like hundreds of people from like being together in cinemas or like bowling or whatever, but you're literally allowing thousands of children in a close proximity with each other, and there are times, especially in the beginning of the year, where multiple years went into isolation. So it's.
I mean, if you look at it, 2 days into the school year and 2 year groups went off. 2 days in, 2 days. And it's, it's not going to be easy. Again, this links back into the politics thing. It's an unknown situation for everyone, including politicians, people, everything. And sadly, which I don't like the idea, but we know as much as the politicians in this case. We don't know anymore. We don't, think about it. This time last year, we did not know that this virus existed.
Oh, yeah.
And look, in a year, also created a vaccine.
I mean,
so
it was like a month after the December where we started to see a virus.
Yeah, exactly.
But I didn't know about the
remember.
virus until like February, so I don't know.
Yeah, I remember now in March I was thinking, oh, this virus is nothing, and then 6 months we didn't go to school.
Ivan, you just jinxed the whole world. Come on now.
You could say. But yeah.
Wasn't it like that? If schools were kept closed, that like Boris was gonna lose his, Boris would have to resign or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think education is probably the most important. I mean, they were saying on the news last week,
basic life
4 and 5 year olds.
Basic life essentials are a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. 4 and 5 year olds have forgotten how to use knives and forks. They've forgotten how to go to the toilet on their own. Little things like that. You can't have a generation of people who lack basic skills because they couldn't go to school. I don't think, especially in a developed country like the UK, I don't think that's a justifiable reason.
Seeing as like the current year 9s aren't doing their GCSEs.
Oh yeah. Well, some of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've been talking about what lockdown, all of the bad effects of going into yet another lockdown, and all of the bad effects that it's going to have on everybody involved. I'm just wondering, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but Ivan, you're from Bulgaria, right?
Yeah, my parents, yeah.
Yeah. Don't you go there for Christmas occasionally?
Well, it depends. Sometimes we go to for Christmas, Easter, different times of the year. Obviously this year that's not happening. Newsflash, I'm going to be an uncle. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Really?
My brother's having a little baby.
How old's your brother? Like 16?
No, my brother's very old. My brother's 34 and 36. 21
That's
years
not very young.
What?
That's not very young. My grandmother had my mother when she was 16.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Then again, that's Filipino things. So, Ivan, what are you going to miss the most about not being able to see your family in Bulgaria?
Literally that point, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, with the fact, okay, it's still in Europe, fine, it's the 3-hour flight away, but you're not going to go every weekend to see them. I see my brothers, maximum 3 4 times a year. I see my friend's dog more often than I see my brothers. It sounds, ridiculous, but that's how it is. And it does hurt because, both my brothers did used to live in the UK, but they moved back, and they've always been there for me, almost like a second parent, like a parent who I can talk to as such. And not that I can't talk to my parents, of course I can, but
you just choose not to.
As someone else. And yeah, it does hurt, but I think everyone will struggle with that this Christmas. We don't know if we'll be able to socialise or not, and it will be hard. It will be very, very hard
because
this Christmas.
Everyone's saying how at least it's this year because we can chat online. Chatting online sucks. It sucks.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Zoom is terrible for already known reasons. Google frickin' Meets, come on.
Oh.
And especially internationally, where it's I don't know. Because, if you're just chatting, with, one friend via WhatsApp or, some other kind of cool space, and it's fine, because it's just casual. But if you're trying to get a get-together, with multiple family who are in different countries using Zoom, then
It's just not the same, is it?
Doesn't quite work.
but
Yeah, I mean, it's like casual banter as such as it goes at school. You can do a voice video, like a voice video call, whatever, on Discord for lessons. It's not the same.
but
it just
which
isn't.
parent, like, whose parents know how to use Discord? Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Even I'm struggling to get my head around how to join recording studios or whatever else I need to do for Discord.
You couldn't join the recording studio like yourself because it's locked to only me and Erol.
Okay, yeah, but in principle, I'm not bad with technology, but even for someone like me, I'm 14, it can be hard to get around some things.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I'm the complete opposite. Once I get something,
But yeah, I mean, Leorge, you're a tech whiz, but it's not going to be easy. But with all adapting, I've learned so many things over lockdown. I don't think Zoom will be a applicable skill in, hopefully not in 5 years' time. Hopefully I won't have to join a Zoom meeting. But
will this virus be as bad as the Black Plague though?
I doubt it. I mean,
it's the first virus since like 19 something, right?
Yeah, it is the first, i.e., pandemic since the Spanish flu, like global pandemic.
When was the Spanish flu though?
1918, after the end of the end of the First World War.
I wasn't born then. I was like negative 30 years old.
Negative years old.
I hope you weren't, Leorge. And I think society has grown so much, even in the last 10, 20 years. And now there's an understanding across society. I know conspiracies still exist, but the truth is not available,
the Illuminati conspiracy used to be a thing back in 2015, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, yes.
And
I think that another crazy conspiracy theory that I've come across is QAnon.
what's QAnon?
What's the QAnon?
It's basically this it's this thing where, how do I describe it? Like famous people, like famous celebrities. People think that they're under some massive ploy where they find babies and like take them to Oprah. You know Oprah Winfrey? She's thought to be like the ringleader behind all of this. They take babies and bring them to Oprah's underground lair or something. And they take all of the blood out of the babies and essentially kill them.
It's almost as bad as the Flat Earth
and then
Society.
drink their blood.
I was gonna say, I mean...
why do people still think that?
No, it's... I think it's because... And those people are mainly supporters of Trump because they think Trump's like the good guy who will solve everything, so it's really crazy.
Thinks the Earth is flat, yeah.
To be honest, that's another reason why I don't like saying that I support Trump, because I don't get me wrong, I don't support Biden either. To be honest, if I was in the US, I really don't know who I would have voted for. I would have probably voted for my ballot paper. But the people that support him, some of the people that I cannot stand, it really irritates me that some people think that he's on their side. He might be, I don't know. We don't know the truth.
Also, the attitude also relating to that, the attitude like in the 2016 election when Trump won, people voted for him. And then like seconds after he's announced it, everyone's like protesting in the streets, not my president. But you voted for him. It's democracy, man.
But
and that's why it sort of does annoy me that he's refusing to budge at the moment, because it is democracy. You know, there are lots of things I don't like doing. But if it's a democracy, you have to go with it.
Can next in like 4 years, if he wanted to, could Obama just go back to run for president again?
I don't think so. I think it's maximum of 8 years in total. You cannot... Donald Trump could, because he's only done 4 years. He could run again in 2024 and get another 4.
That's what he's going to do. That's what he's going to do. It's going to be like...
But, he's screwing it up for himself at the moment. He's not done anything. He won't do anything, but he's sort of losing the plot, which is absolutely ridiculous.
The thing is, I bet you 2024 is going to be the return Trump versus Hillary Part 2.
or because, like... Okay, so I know I keep saying this, but we've been talking currently a lot about like Trump and Biden and all of the main names in elections. I think we should there are some of those the independent people who are running for president, such as Kanye West.
But nobody knows about them, so...
Kanye West, people know who Kanye West is.
Kanye West, that's a joke!
No, he did run.
The only issue is that, again, this is problems with the American voting system. Again, same in this country. This is why I don't exactly support our voting system.
How far did Kanye get in the presidential election?
Well, he lost.
Yeah.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, how
If
far?
he won, then I think
far did he get though?
I don't.
not very far. I don't think.
Thing is,
Not very.
Trump was previously like the Apprentice host or whatever, but then he went from like he had no like knowledge in politicians, ran for president for probably like the giggles or whatever, won. So, it's not uncommon.
But then you could say, as I said, people were alienated. People maybe, I don't know, he did resort to something. Let's be honest, I don't think it's very strange for a man. He's a businessman, he's not a politician. I think that's brutally clear.
Yeah, but Kanye West
Biden's been a senator for the last 40 odd years. He is a politician. Trump isn't. And he literally came out of nowhere and he became president. So I think it does sort of
got to be the president.
Yeah, exactly. It does. I think it does show America as a country. I mean, Leorge might disagree with me, but it's a broken society. I'm not saying the UK isn't, but
the society
is
is broken,
society.
but the culture's amazing. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, and well, we can argue on that another time.
We did in the episode 2. You should have saw it. Anyways, unrelated to this, what scores did you get in 11 plus as like a final closing topic?
Oh dear, that was a long time ago.
Yeah. If you guys don't know what 11 plus is, it's a kind of test to get into our score. You have to get like high enough to do something, etc., etc.
I think I got 138.
How did you get in?
148.
It's not 238.
Oh, 200. Yeah.
Oh
okay,
yeah. Sorry, I forgot the rating system.
I
I know
said
I got like in the
138.
40s of some hundred.
Yeah, I think I got 231, 230, something like that.
I got
was just below
yeah.
the score you needed to get in, and then obviously I went on the waiting list, and here I am.
You peeled.
Yeah, sort of. They're basically when the space comes up, and yeah.
Alright. So there's a chance you couldn't have gone to the school.
Yeah, there was a very good chance. You wouldn't know me.
Yeah, but yeah, I got.
That's the worst thing about it. No,
I got 236, and something I must mention. Isn't that a fact? Like, I've heard this fact before. I don't know if it's true. Do they take off or give scores based on your birthday?
That would be really silly.
Because
I think
if
you're born in August, you get extra points. Not sure why.
If you're born in July, you get extra points. That's it.
Yeah, basically September you get no extra points. Let's say
I thought
November you'll get 1
points,
point, December 2 points, January 3 points.
I thought they took off points if you're born in September.
But do you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if they did. I don't get the birthday thing at all. I don't see why if you're born in August you're considered more stupid
I
than
was
if you're
lucky
born
I
in
got to school
September.
because I'm born on September 30. September 28, sorry. September 28. So if I was born like September 1, I maybe wouldn't have gotten to the school.
Yeah, it is possible.
But, it's kind of like...
Okay.
Also, the stuff we had to learn for the test, yeah, English and math, obviously, but then you have verbal and non-verbal reasoning.
Oh yeah, that was honestly...
They were fine, but we never did anything related to that, like, ever again.
Yeah. No, but it's like all of the curriculum. Let's be honest, when am I ever going to need to use quadratic formulas or cycles of urbanization?
Anyway, let's carry on.
Or rates of reaction or photosynthesis. When am I going to need to use it at the same time?
They shouldn't make science and math mandatory. The reason people don't want to do it is because they have to do it. If they didn't have to do it, maybe they would be interested in it. Like English, you have to learn English, but only English language. Nobody cares about literature.
I agree.
You have, I guess maybe like British history you'll need. And then you need law and taxes and all those extra ones that
That's
you do
the thing. For example, I cannot get them. I don't know how to go and get a mortgage. I don't know how to file a tax return.
Yeah.
School hasn't even taught me how to cook.
Exactly.
School's taught me no practical applicable skills.
Food tech is a thing, so
Yeah, but like pizza pinwheels, Leorge, am I ever going to have to make pizza pinwheels? Is that a thing I'm going to have to cook?
If you want to, you can, and
I know, but like you don't get a wedding invitation where they're like, "Oh, we want you to bring pizza pin rolls to our parties." So
exactly.
It's
true.
Silly, but
there's this old rap this guy did 5 years ago. Don't stay in school.
it's sadder that some of the teachers can't even tell us how useful this stuff can be.
Which,
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I remember
can't,
I was
though.
in maths,
They
and I
can't
asked the
because
teacher-
it literally isn't that useful. That's why.
Yeah, and
You
I
don't-
think there's nothing wrong in saying that, to be honest.
Unless you're planning to become a scientist, why take science? Unless you're planning to live in Germany or France, why take those language subjects? We should be teaching us. We should be taught stuff that we need to learn. How to get a job, for example, and they shouldn't just have the work experience as a side thing. It should be a main subject, or how to pay taxes and mortgage, etc.
For example, things like careers,
Family
let's say what we
classes,
did at school,
etc.,
careers
yeah,
and well-being. It's treated like a joke. I'm not gonna lie. I think people see well-being and careers as a lesson where you just mess around, which is wrong. You know,
I guess it's partly the
you wouldn't
outlook.
mess
It's because
around
like,
in
we
it.
have it like once every fortnight, so
Yeah,
and we don't even do
there's
careers anymore.
We could learn so much. There is so much sort of meat on the bone, as I like to say.
That's
There's
a
a lot
very
of meat
cool-
on the bone that can be covered.
That's a cool
Around
analogy.
well-being, careers. There's a lot, but what do we learn? How to improve your confidence. Practice failure. Come on, bit pathetic.
Yeah, and the career subject isn't doing much. Let's be real. We should have like
Oh,
good
yeah.
subjects. For example, like how to be a how to be a parent, or how to vote.
Yeah.
Etc.
yes.
Literally, exactly.
Like you can learn more on the internet and YouTube than you can in school, and you would like it because people can make it so interesting on YouTube
And
that
that's
you'd
what
actually
people
be
do.
willing to
They
listen
go
through
to
the whole
go
thing
to
and learn from it.
Google. Yeah, Errol, that's what people do. They go to Google and search these things rather than from a teacher who has the experience and could teach them, but they don't. And that's the thing. And with that note on top, I think we should end it off here. We are your hosts, Leorge and Erol. This is our guest, Ivan. Thank you for being here.
Thank you
No,
very
don't
much.
just go, Ivan. Don't
Don't say bye yet. It's not time.
Okay. It was Ivan.
Okay, hold on.
Pleasure
Thank you
being
for being here with us. What? No, Ivan.
Thank you.
Okay, anyways, thank you for being here, Ivan.
Thank you for inviting
Don't-
me. It was absolute
This is
pleasure,
great.
both of you.
We're keeping this in.
Back at
It's
you.
too funny. But yeah,
Okay.
okay. But next week you should have like a regular episode. It should be fine.
Hopefully.
But anyways, this is the Flowable podcast, and we'll see you next time. See you guys.
Bye guys.
Bye.
Woo!
Woo! Bye.